As the sun sets in Norwalk, the DAF Media Network lights are on as we welcome you to Brien McMahon High School, a really special night for 3 DHS alums who are coming back to call some Darien boys soccer alongside my pals Eric Hannigan and Lewis Clark. We got some Darien Brien McMahon boys soccer tonight, fellas. I hate to make you feel old. It was 8 years ago that you were taking this very pitch on a swing game. You won 1-0. 8 years later, less hair a little bit, and we're back, and we're ready to broadcast. What is the goal tonight if you're Darien? Obviously, you want a result, but how do you get it?
Yeah, Jay, thanks for the introduction, and it's great to be here alongside you guys, obviously, and it's great to be back at McMahon Field where we made some great memories. It really, 8 years later, not much has changed. You have two teams who are really going at it in, as Lewis was talking about beforehand, another swing game. So we have to see what the result is tonight. These are really going to be the games that make or break your FCIAC run. So we'll have to see how tonight's goes.
Yeah, and look, these are the nights that you live for, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of the guys out there are going to be wanting to make the season last as long as possible. So if they want to have that happen, they got to win this game.
You guys played for the Blue Wave under head coach John Bradley. What is the message to the 11 men that he just sent out onto the field in a game like this?
I think, you'll look at their starting record, and it's not the ideal start, but I think he's going to say, we have to stick to our tactics, stick to what we've been working on in practice, and really kind of go out there, try and stifle this this powerful, strong offense, and hopefully get to shut them down and come out with 3 points because, again, this is really going to be a big differentiator come late in the season.
Yeah, I think you just need to be aggressive right off the bat. I mean, John will always stress to be aggressive and have confidence, and I think if they can get off to a fast start here, that's going to be the best start they can have.
Well, settle in, everybody. Hope dinner is on the table because we have got a great game for you. 40 minutes on the first half clock here at Brien McMahon High School. McMahon, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, so even across the board through 3 games this season. Darien only with 1 win as well. Both teams lining up at a 4-4-2 flat tonight. Very common formation. Sending 2 strikers. It'll be who gets the better of the back 4 and earns some points.
Lewis, I know today in modern day soccer, teams like to tweak around with the formation. What are your thoughts on the 4-4-2 flat?
I mean, look, I think you just got to keep it basic. You got to stick with what you know. I think a lot of times people can get too caught up in tweaking these formations and making them elaborate. And I think at this age, it's just important to stick to the basics and get fully in on the fundamentals.
Red and navy McMahon moving from left to right. Darien in all white as we are underway in Norwalk. You see Darien goes right to that high-pressure approach and forces a turnover.
Yeah, this was one of the things pregame John Bradley said that he really wanted to instate for today. He really wants to push McMahon back in their own half, hopefully create mistakes and capitalize on those. So time will tell if it pays off.
Now, Darien has lacked goals this year. They only have 4 goals to show in 6 games, so the attacking play has certainly been lacking for the Blue Wave. Meanwhile, Brien McMahon, they've scored 4 goals in just 1 game. It was a 4-4 tie 2 weeks ago. So it'll be which style. Darien's more conservative, play for a 1-goal game, or Brien McMahon, who's very fluid and open and looking to get the ball always upfield.
Eric, you played in a few games under the lights our senior year with myself. Tell me about how juiced you'd get for those games. It does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's anything that's different from the norm, really. And as we see tonight, it's really a perfect fall night, or approaching fall, I should say. These are one of the games that you really get up for, and hopefully Darien can rise to the occasion here and, like I said, put McMahon under some pressure and hopefully get a goal early to set the tone.
Early goal will be important.
You guys mentioned playing under the lights. It's something that 8 years ago, again, not to make us feel old, but we didn't have lights in the home stadium. You could only play under the lights on the road. Now, thanks to the Darien Athletic Foundation. Oh, off the line. Can you believe it? A goal line clearance in the opening 2 minutes. Brien McMahon almost cashed in.
Well, we talked about that early goal, and that clearance is going to be key.
Yeah, that was a great play from Grimm at the back. He really recovered there from A little lapse in judgment from the goalkeeper, but no harm, no foul as they get away with one there. It looks like Sears gets fouled in the midfields, and they'll have a chance for a set play here.
They're going to need a channel through him tonight, so there'll be a lot of eyes on him.
And it's Charlie Sears, one of the best players in the entire state of Connecticut, who stands over the ball.
Darien showing short here, but I'm pretty convinced they'll go long.
And they do. Right on goal, and Billy Begos, the McMahon keeper, first time he's been called into question today, and he punches it away. It'll stay with the Blue Wave. Take another look.
We'll see a replay. He really just wants to get it on target, which is all you can ask for. And Begos punches that away fairly easily. But again, anything can happen, and that could easily hit part of his hand and go in the net. So
they call Charlie Sears the John Joe Shelby of southwestern Connecticut. And he forces the first shot on goal for either team today.
I wish more than 1% of viewers knew that reference, but it's an English Premier League player. And Begos looks to distribute outright. It's good play from them. Start from the back and see how far they can build.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's something that our senior year we didn't do a terrible amount of building out from the back, but we knew our strengths and we knew that playing the long ball would work for us. So I'll be interested to see if John's adopting a similar formula here.
It was Liam Flaherty who poked it away. He's playing left back. John Bradley, he praised the defense. He said if the offense could be as disciplined as the defense, we'd have a lot more goals, a lot more results. The defense for the Blue Wave has been the strength, just lacking that goal power with only 4 goals in 6 games this season. Right now it's McMahon attacking. Again cleared.
Closed down well.
Lucas Balderrama for McMahon. Tangled up with Flaherty.
Yeah, it's been early, but we've seen a lot of good play from McMahon on the wings. They're really looking to stretch Darien's defense and hopefully cross it in the middle for either a keeper mistake or a good header. So you can see McMahon's applying a lot of pressure, and here they have a shot, which clears the net, but it's an effort.
It's been a strong start from both teams so far. I mean, both have been attacking, and it's been back and forth. It's exactly what we want and what the viewers want.
Lewis, when you're a team put under pressure, particularly in your own half, what's the best way to deal with that and kind of settle the game down?
Well, I think it depends on your tactics and whether you're playing out of the back or not. If you know that you're not going to be strong enough to play out of the back, you just got to try and get as many bodies forward as possible, because if you're sitting back and absorbing the pressure, you're never going to be able to get out. So you have to have your strikers playing as long as possible to stretch the field.
Yeah, exactly. And Lewis, I think you said that very accurately there. If they are committing men upfield to put you under pressure, then they will have gaps up the field. So whether or not you get that up there by some small passes in the midfield or a long ball, teams have different approaches, but ultimately it's the same end goal. It's to take advantage of that empty space.
Exactly.
Both teams deploying a high-pressure approach tonight. And when you risk it and don't sit back, it does leave you exposed on the other end, so it should be a fairly open game.
Exactly. You got to be mindful of the counterattack at all times. It can happen in a flash.
You see Dumas there, ball off the knee, out of bounds, so McMahon has some time to set something up here. It looks like it might be a longer throw.
Ocampo delivers it to the top of the box. A shot on goal. Great save by the sophomore goalkeeper, Will Lehan.
I think we'll get a replay here. You'll see it from the reverse angle. He is stretching as far as he can to his right post, and he gets there. That looks like it was on target, so great save from the keeper.
But it just forces a corner. Castiero sends it in. Lehan dives again and comes up with the ball. 2 great saves from the sophomore.
Yeah, it may not look pretty at times, but at the end of the day, the ball has not hit the back of the net for McMahon. So mission successful so far. And it looks like, we were just talking about potentially playing out of the back. Darien is taking no chances. They are just looking to punt the ball up the field.
Something the Darien defense is going to have to keep an eye on is that long throw as well. That, leading up to that shot on goal, which had forced that great save, is something that they're going to have to really keep an eye on.
And those top 2 strikers for McMahon, Castillero and Alex Vargas. They've combined for 6 goals, which is 2 more than Darien's entire team. So 2 very dangerous strikers, and we just saw Castillero, what he's capable of.
Look, when you have a great connection, great chemistry between 2 players, it's something that you have to be playing into. You can't underestimate the power of a green light between 2 players.
Lewis, you're a Manchester United fan in the English Premier League, so you haven't watched a lot of good soccer in the last couple of years. It's nice that we're treated to an actual good game tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We've been in tough times, so it's going to be many years until then. So I'll be watching a lot of Blue Wave soccer.
Darien high pressed on this McMahon back line. Knocked forward. Dangerous back pass here, dealt with by Grimm. McMahon settling into play here. Dangerous ball again there to meet at the Darien back line. Will Henry Harmon knocked that one and sent it forward.
McMahon taking some time to kind of reset here.
Well, that's important too, because in an open game like this where McMahon's kind of just steamed up the field, you want to sometimes take a deep breath and settle the play.
Yeah, you'll see that when stoppages are in play. Players will be catching their breath. They've been really going back and forth. No one's really been sitting back absorbing any pressure, so they're going to be making the most of every breath they can get in between these.
What was the style of play, Lewis? How would you characterize your team, which went from 2 wins in your junior year to senior year, making a run in both the FCIAC and the state playoffs, winning the most games ever in Darien boys soccer history?
I think it was a combination of reasons, and it may not even have been so related to the tactics of the way we were playing, but who we were playing where, as well as the confidence that John instilled in us. You know, I feel like whenever you go out there and if you're ever playing afraid or you're not totally confident in the team, or just don't, quite frankly, want to be out there, that's obviously going to have a dramatic effect on your playing ability. You could be one of the best players in the world, but if you're not in it and you're not out there wanting to be out there, you're not going to perform.
Dangerous ball put in again, dealt with by Grimm, and cleared by Darien all the way to Charlie Sears, trying to settle the ball in midfield now. But McMahon relentless with that pressure. They have dominated the time of possession tonight and win the ball right back.
And that was a key time to win the ball right back because, you know, Darien had that counter-attacking opportunity. So that was a great play by them.
Long ball easily caught by Will Lehan, sophomore goalkeeper for the Blue Wave.
Now this gives Darien an opportunity to get men up the field.
I guess 8 years removed, Lewis, we were talking about the characteristics John instilled with you in his first year, now in year 9. When you look at Darien Blue Wave soccer, are there the same characteristics that, you know, he preached to you guys 8 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, look, the most important thing is that the kids are out there and they look like they're enjoying themselves. And I think that was the biggest difference he made when we came in, that, you know, regardless of how talented you were, from the best to the least talented, everybody was happy to be there. One of the policies that he always had was that no senior would get cut, and I think that was a big part of morale in keeping them around.
And Charlie Sears put a nice ball into the box, got a header to it, but just not on target. We're about 11 minutes into this first half. McMahon has definitely had the best opportunity, took a great save from Darien sophomore goalkeeper.
Yeah, and they also had that one that was saved off the line too. So there's been a couple of key opportunities, but, you know, still 0-0. Darien's well in this game. Got to keep attacking.
A road game here under the lights. Happy to be back. Jay Alter, Eric Hannigan, Lewis Clark with you. 2012 grads of Darien that are really excited to be back at our alma mater, calling the game on DAF Media Network. Great header to keep Vargas at bay. Ball into the box. Quick off his line. Will Lehan comes up with another great save.
Yeah, one of the most important characteristics of a keeper is of having that strong awareness to be coming off his line and almost fearless nature, because a lot of times you're going into some tough tackles and challenges, but he has that.
And this is a Darien defense that is without their senior captain and leader at center back, Cole Bronca, who tore his ACL earlier in the season's out. Here's Charlie Sears.
Great run from Sears.
Really confident on the ball, Charlie Sears.
Yeah, and you know that confidence can rub off on the other players. You know, other players are going to be looking to their captain and seeing him do that, and it's going to give them the confidence to go for it themselves.
Now, this is a terrific endeavor that the DAF Media Network provides, doing more than 100 broadcasts over the course of the year for Darien Athletics. I know we wish we had this one. We were at Darien, and we're happy to bring it to you on this Norwalk night.
No, it would have been amazing. There's so many advancements in the past 8 years the school and the DAF have done for this program, and quite frankly, all programs.
Yeah, there are a few benefits you can look at. You know, obviously, it's great for friends and family who can't be at the game in person to be able to tune in. You have the nice benefit of having some footage for college prospects, and as we see another McMahon low drive there that's cleaned up easily by the Darien goalkeeper. We'll get a reverse replay here.
First of all, your footage that you received your senior year was excellently shot, so I don't want to hear about the footage.
I swear the camera was off half the time.
Okay. I lugged that thing to most away games. A lot of contact, nothing called. Darien trying to build on it. Both officials kind of looking at each other saying, hey, did you get a good look at it?
We did up in the booth, we can say that. And it's always good to see McMahon player. It looks like Cabrera picked up a knock, but he's back on his feet. And it should be a drop ball.
And it is.
And Darien reset.
And I'm sure everybody knows, but this is an all-student production behind the scenes. Everyone working the cameras, and our director, Ted Brennan.
Which has been so impressive, by the way. The instant replays that we can get on this game
awesome.
is outrageous.
Darien ramping up that high pressure, winning the ball again before McMahon could get back into possession. Long ball forward. Darien's, Eric, done a great job. Every time McMahon tries to get it to their two main strikers, just knocking the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, and sometimes the simplest approach is the best. And in this instance, they're really not messing around. They're just trying to clear the ball, mitigate the risk as much as possible, like they did there. And, you know, end of the day, McMahon gets a throw in, but doesn't result in a goal. So
my only concern with the past couple minutes is, and you know, you see a counterattack going right now. We'll watch this one play out.
Darien doesn't have the numbers. Trying to get white jerseys forward. Here's Sears, plays a ball out wide. Can't keep it in bounds. Bennett Dumas, who's the right back, storming forward.
So those are some more encouraging signs, but what I've found is in the past 5 minutes that Darien was spending a lot of time in their own half and taking up a lot of that pressure. So what they need to do is start getting men up the field.
yeah, you read my minds there. We talked about at the beginning of the game how Darien had this plan to really instate a high pressure system, and really they've kind of been reactionary in their approach tonight. So, you know, for all that talk ahead of time, John either needs to have a halftime talk with his players, or this is just how the rest of the game is going to go. So it really gave me a flashback to our own games where we kind of sat back, absorbed pressure, and tried to hit them on the counterattack in any plays that presented themselves. So it's a different style, but it looks like we have a substitute here for Darien.
So Coach Bradley going to the bench early.
Looks like Ackman came on.
Yep, the junior number 3 will play in that midfield. McMahon has had the lion's share of possession in this first half. The Darien's on that back line, been very disciplined and has dealt with everything that McMahon sent their way so far.
You know, it's so interesting. I was doing a little research before the game. These are really two teams who are historically pretty much on par. You had last season, McMahon went 8-4-4 and just squeaked into the FCIAC tournament, 2 points ahead of Darien. I remember I was calling a game with Damien in Norwalk where they ended up drawing 1-1, and they just missed out. Darien went 7-4-5. And, you know, the prior year before that, both teams didn't have the best of seasons. McMahon actually was winless. Darien had 3 wins. So it seems like they're kind of almost mirror teams of themselves, and it makes this game all the more important because these are the teams that you're really fighting against come postseason time.
Corner swings in. Darien trying to strike first, cleared off the back post.
Now they need to keep it in this half. Keep bodies forward.
Haven't seen a lot of it in this half.
No.
Looks like another corner there.
These are the big opportunities from these set pieces. You know, they haven't been spending a lot of time in this half. They haven't had a lot of opportunities in the last 5 minutes, and this is where they got to capitalize.
Yeah, and here we see, looks like Charlie Sears hoping to play another promising ball in the middle.
Sears whips one in.
Looks good.
A header,
Oh!
and Darien strikes first.
That's Henry Harmon, I believe, with the nice header. Again, you'll see the replay here. Perfectly curled in ball. Easy
Beautiful.
connection, glancing header.
Beautiful bowling.
Take another look. Will Henry Harmon, the senior defender, comes up with a thumping header to give the Blue Wave a 1-0 lead on the road.
And we'll see another replay here. Charlie Sears again, pinpoint accuracy. Harmon really just has to glance his head to the side. We'll see the reverse angle here. And you nod that ball into the grounds. That goalkeeper has 0 chance.
No
That's a
chance.
great replay. And we just about missed it.
Oh, my.
But Brien McMahon firing back right away.
Hello.
We got a game.
Well, and Lewis, you talked about this. With high pressure approaches, especially after a goal, the game really opens up.
Opens up completely, and you just have to be so careful. You can't be caught on the break right after a goal. And
Well,
it's
we
so
almost
easy.
were. So.
It's so easy to get comfortable. It's so easy to lose focus for a second, and it just got to remain focused.
Luckily, we had veteran broadcaster Eric Cannigan, who's done multiple years here for DAF Media, who knew right away who that header belonged to.
Yeah, I've seen Will Henry Harmon before, and he's actually scored a free kick earlier this season. So the senior captain is really showing his experience, and again, being able to nod that home in a big game to set the early tone, that's going to be a big one. And we see another free kick or corner kick here. Looks like a free kick.
It's a free kick. And you guys know Coach Bradley does not care where the goals come from. That's Darien's 5th goal of the season. They need him from anybody. And it's a defender who pops up in the box and puts one in the back of the net.
Yeah, and here Sears goes for another delivery. This one, unfortunately, not quite as good.
And now McMahon on the break again. So dangerous with their pace in the counterattack.
It's a funny game. You have a team who's really setting the tone, and McMahon, as they just clear the ball. They set the tone early. They were really applying pressure to Darien's half. And, you know, Darien comes away with a set piece and ends up putting it in.
Losing his footing, Alex Vargas couldn't get to the ball. Here's Darien applying numbers for it again. Vetter just lost the dribble. It'll be McMahon's throw.
Talk about a momentum switch. I mean, now we see Darien really pressing McMahon against the byline. They don't look like they can breathe here. And it's again, it's a tale of 2 10-minute halves here. And Darien really took that goal and are thriving on it right now.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Eric. I mean, honestly, you just got to keep riding this wave and keep the energy going.
The blue wave.
Ride the wave. Okay.
The blue wave. Yes.
Eric Cannigan here providing the soccer analysis. Lewis Clark here all night with the blue wave references. A balanced booth.
Is that what that note card has on it?
These two, both captains for Darien in the 2011 season, 2012 grads of Darien. Does that record still stand, fellas? The most wins from a Darien soccer program?
Now, I want to say the year after or 2 years after we graduated, I think they had quite the performance over the season.
They might have eclipsed it.
Yep. That was a handball on Jacob Grimm. He just whiffed on the clear. And now McMahon, this sets up a dangerous free kick for the Senators.
Yeah, and he was really the last man back, and so it, you know, in another setting that could have looked at a card there, but it did look unintentional. So regardless, McMahon have a clear opportunity on net here, so we'll have to see what happens.
Blasted forward, but right into the hands of the sophomore goalie, Will Lehan.
I think that must be his 5th or 6th save by now. I mean, he's showing, aside from an early blip or two, he's showing to be pretty confident. So this is anything like this is going to help his cause.
Yeah, it's been a strong start in net for him.
You guys are accustomed to playing with a great goalkeeper, particularly in your summer indoor soccer league 2 years after, or into our junior year of college.
Yeah, it's a wonder why that didn't pan out for you.
I think the key were his pajamas he wore.
Yep, I think they still talk about my goalkeeper performance in the Chelsea Piers locker rooms.
Yeah, around the halls of Chelsea Piers, it's frequently uttered.
Talk about, laugh about, it's all the same.
Well, McMahon's got 17 minutes in this first half. With the pressure they've applied and really the amount of possession they've seen, they will feel really hard done by if they go into halftime trailing by a goal.
It's deflating, for sure. And the key for them will be to, go into that half and we'll try it and see if they can get anything towards the end of this one, but really just reset.
Meanwhile, I can see John grinning from across the pitch. I mean, this is really the outcome he looks for. If he can grind that result, he doesn't care how it looks. He doesn't care who had the bulk of possession, because at the end of the day, you either get the points or you don't. So looks like the keeper is getting some assistance with his shoelace. It's a good teammate.
Who is the shoelace tire on your team?
Lewis,
I think that was me.
Now the captains have to do it all, right? Actually, it was Will Henry Harmon who tied the shoes. He's tying the shoes. He's scoring the goals. He does it all. Sears lost possession, but settles it back.
Nice dink, and McElhose is charging forward like a gazelle. Off he goes.
Still has possession. Oh, my. Gazelle is the right term.
I was thinking more bulldozer, but
if he kept the ball on its foot one more dribble, that would have been the play of the night. Sears has it again. He's really coming into his own in the midfield. Plays the ball, fall forward, trying to release Jack Holly.
He's got a step on him, and he's got a man back post, unfortunate.
Yeah, Jack Holly is quick, but that ball just outran him a little bit. Sears a touch too much on these passes so far, but he is really controlling the midfield for Darien. He's playing well.
Now that the sun is fully down, those lights are on. It's exactly what you dream of, playing in a rivalry game like this one with the lights on. Unfortunately, not a Friday night. The weekend games under the lights have a little more flair to it. The students can really come out and show support. But the DAF Media Network is here supporting.
Yeah, I think we're trying to make Tuesday night lights a thing. So there are a good amount of people out here tonight, so it's nice to see the crowd coming to support. And again, from a neutral perspective, you hope for some goals. John's hoping for a snooze fest for the rest of the game just to keep it at 1-0. He just wants this win.
And a big win it would be.
I like that from Billy Begos going around the back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. But unfortunately, the distribution was not too good. The around the back moves were a little better. Long ball forward again into the box. And Begos is there. Let's see if he does it this time. No, disappointing.
But it's interesting. They've changed from kind of the softer roll throw distribution. Now they're trying to kick the ball upfield. I swear the teams might have changed jerseys because the approaches have almost reciprocated here.
Well, I think a lot of it just comes down to patience. You know, McMahon had been playing so well in that lead up, and when Darien scored, it's obviously quite deflating. And in those moments, it's difficult to stick to the plan, and you want to, you know, be impatient and rush things. But it's just about staying calm.
Will Henry Harmon going up into the box from the back line to the front line as Sears puts one in. A little heavy, and Begos is there.
Yeah, it's not a bad ball. He had the distance just about right, but he does want to push that probably about 5 or 10 yards deeper so it comes in towards the middle of the net, but not a bad effort.
Well, we have a little bit of a stoppage in play as they track the ball on the far side. I dug up a couple of photos of the two guys joining me in the booth. This is Eric Cannigan going in for a Czech Tiote-like tackle.
That was one of the clean ones, actually.
I think he led the year in yellow cards. And then Lewis Clark mopping up, no pun intended, because of his haircut.
Strong header.
A header, grimacing as he takes it so. And then Eric in the West Hill game scored 2 goals to send Darien into the FCIAC semifinal, him celebrating one right there.
I swear, you must have actually physically dug that up with the shuttle and a time capsule. I haven't seen those in a long time, but
next we need the highlights.
Those are good. Those are good memories.
Well, I
I'll say
actually
that.
liked the one of you tackling Eric and you heading it, Lewis, because that exemplified the way your team played, which is willing to do the little things like that to make sure you could grind out a result.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of John's mentality. He wanted to make sure the team wasn't getting pushed around and made themselves memorable with some tackles so the other team knew that we were there. And, you know, tonight I've seen a little bit of that. So I think that's just part of John's coaching approach.
I think it just goes to show how much of an impact he made, because our junior year, we really only had 1 or 2 other seniors that were of good quality, and we only had 3 wins that season. So the fact that John could come in with almost the identical team and turn it from a 3-win team into was it 23? Then, you know, that's saying something.
And 2 deep runs into the FCIAC and state playoffs.
Deep runs against very competitive
which you guys
teams.
have not had in close to a decade.
No.
And really, it was the building block, because since you guys graduated, that has become the expectation, and John has maintained that excellence.
It was the beginning of a new era, absolutely.
Yeah, he really, as you said, his new expectation is they should be making FCIACs or states at the very least every single season, and obviously that hasn't happened. You do have those years where players graduate, but it's the new standard for the Darien soccer program.
The dawn of a new era.
The worm turn.
In 2011, ball played in, Castillero, well dealt with. And it's still loose.
Strong in the air.
I think that was Henry Harmon again with the defensive header this time. He is everywhere.
United should sign him.
He took it looked like he might have taken a hit there, but again, ultimate objective he achieved. He got that ball out. Chest day there.
8 years later from you guys going on that magical run, and John Bradley still on the sidelines trying to do what he did so well 8 years ago, grind a 1-0 win. You guys had 7 1-0 wins that fall.
Was it 7?
Yeah, I looked it up.
I think it does go to show that at the beginning of the game, if we got a goal, we won that game, because we'd get that goal quick and we'd know to be able to lock down. And that was that's what led to our success that season.
Great play. Sears almost unlocking Vetter going forward. Under 10 minutes to go in this first half. McMahon trying for that equalizer. Darien playing a little bit of hoofball in the last 5 minutes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Is it, obviously you want to get the goal, right? But Lewis, sometimes or you wish maybe, oh, the goal came a little early because now we've got to play defense the whole rest of the way.
It can be. It can be, but it's, oftentimes attack is the best form of defense. So these guys have got to stick with it.
A little bit long from McMahon there. Again, one of John's great approaches is he is very willing to make substitutes early and often in a game to help compensate for that defensive work that the team has to do. So they are running around a lot, but these players know that they really should be giving it what they have in the tank because they can come off for a couple-minute breather. John brings someone else on to give the fresh legs, and then you can get back in. So it's one of the benefits to high school soccer is there is no sub limit, so you kind of use them to your benefit in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, John was the king of that. Last couple of
Wow.
minutes, he would use a lot of subs to try and get that clock down to
For
0.
legs, for fresh legs. Oh, good play on the byline. I don't think that looked out, but we'll go with the referee decision.
Well, the benefit of the unlimited subs too is that you can try out different combinations, and you don't have to worry about having your hand forced with, a striker pairing, for instance, or a pairing in the midfield. You have the opportunity to adjust throughout the game and to change things up.
Ball put in, headed away by McMahon. McElhost won it back for Darien. Back out to Sears. Puts it on goal. Almost! He whizzed that right over the bar.
We see the replay here.
Have a
Yeah,
go,
smack
son.
from distance.
That's impressive. He did not have much of a wind up there. He
Not
was
at
almost
all.
from a standing position. So to get that power behind it, and again at this level, you just want to be testing the goalkeeper. That was a little central, but a nice effort on target from Sears there. We just slipped under the 7-minute mark here. We're still watching a 1-0 lead from Darien as McMahon take a free kick and hopefully push some players up the field before halftime. See if they can nick something.
Great boot forward.
That's a great ball. Header was nice
Safe
too,
hands.
but yeah, right into the sophomore goalkeeper, Will Lehan.
Giving them plenty of time to get up the field.
Lehan does not act like a sophomore out there.
No, he shows
a
the
veteran.
discipline of a veteran. You're right.
Chasing forward,
Quick.
tripped up, and a foul is called right on the edge of the box.
That was close.
It really was another step, and that would have been trouble and a penalty for Darien.
You saw some great pace from Torrey Alba there on McMahon. He really was just whizzing by the Darien defense, and you are just about as close to the inside of the box as you can get. So Darien lucky not to concede a penalty. Some may call it a smart tactical foul, but we'll have to see how this plays out because
that is an inch
That is millimeters.
off
Yeah.
the box. So it's setting up for Messiah Castillero, the senior striker standing over the ball.
From this distance, you're really just looking to get it on target. Doesn't need to be hit too hard.
He can't put it on target, Lewis.
And
Sent it wide.
that's the tail.
I think it was the right idea. He didn't quite get his foot around that. He clearly was going for the lower corner there, but the wall was well placed and did its job. It offset the free kick attempt, and again, Darien's still holding on to this 1-0 lead as we just go under 5 minutes.
Yeah, as we're creeping closer, Darien will just be looking to get to the half at this point. Reset, gather their breath, and get ready for a long second half.
Brien McMahon continues to pile bodies forward, trying to get that equalizer. Booted out of bounds again by the Darien back line. A beautiful Norwalk night here in southwestern Connecticut between the Blue Wave and the McMahon Senators.
Looks like Jack Hawley might have picked up a knock there. He's limping a little bit, so John might have to keep an eye on that. Just hope that it's nothing too serious, and he does look to be walking around fine, but
It did set up a corner, though, for McMahon. Remember, the one goal we've seen in this game came off a corner for Darien. So McMahon looking for the equalizer from the same spot. Whipped in, back post, header. It's a goal, and we're tied at 1.
Fantastically directed header. You'll see it here again.
it looked like Christopher Ocampo.
It was.
It was. He, again, just uses those neck muscles. You'll see right here. Bang. And right into the corner of the net. You really could not place that any better. That is quality that you'd see at an even higher level than high school soccer. So you have to tip your cap to Ocampo. That is a great finish.
That's a treat of a goal.
The senior captain equalizes this game at 1. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. And Lewis, you've used this word a couple times tonight, deflating. Now it's Darien on the deflating end as McMahon pushes forward for more.
Look at that. Ocampo just got a shot of adrenaline from that goal. He's charging up the field. That curly hair just puffing in the winds.
This is where you have to have the mental strength here to absorb this and survive.
Agreed. It's been a tale of 2 corners tonight. 2 great headers. And we look like we're heading into the half with a 1-1 draw, but I could be speaking too soon.
3 minutes to go here.
Dangerous
Delicious
ball. Oh, that time the Darien goalkeeper, Will Lehan, got there first.
Lewis, I think you said it right. It was delicious. And it was really well played.
At Darien, you just look at them. They definitely want halftime.
Isn't it funny how things change?
Yeah.
They were looking to hopefully go 2-0 up, and now they're counting the seconds. And Ocampo distributing.
He's a great player.
He is. He's looked very strong.
This has been the approach, and it's a good one in the game of soccer, just whipping balls in. The wingers getting forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like they're also looking for corners, and how can you blame them? Both goals have come from corners tonight.
Each team will be looking for those, absolutely.
And John with another tactical sub as he counts down the seconds to halftime.
Let that clock run, baby. 2 minutes remaining until halftime.
And this is really teeing up for how can the coaches handle the halftime talk. You know, going in 1-1 where both teams have scored a goal and you're kind of uncertain where the second half lies, that's really where you can tell a good coach from one that's not quite up to that level. So we'll have to hope to see John has some words of wisdom for his team to come out strong in the second half. But again, there's still a minute and a half for something to happen here. So great touch from Sears.
Yeah, here's Sears in the midfield. A little 1-2 for the Blue Wave.
Again, his strength is really being able to hold the ball. He is so composed in midfield, which you don't get a lot of at this level. So to be able to have that in your midfield, making things tick, it makes a big difference. Ooh.
Ocampo continues to kind of dominate that midfield. It's a nice yin and yang from Ocampo and Sears.
It's been a bit of a Ocampo-Sears battle tonight,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That'll carry on certainly into the second half. Hopefully the DAF media provides dinner for their broadcasters at halftime.
A nice barbecue.
I mean,
the
the camera work has been great. I mean,
tremendous job.
It's hard to believe it's a high school
again,
production. It's
we
incredible.
had Jay on a handy cam holding it. It was shaky, pretty grainy footage. Again, like I said, half the time he wasn't watching the ball, but it's great to see where things have gone, and again, to see students leading this effort, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience for them.
We have a corner here with 16 seconds to go.
Darien couldn't get back,
Another
but
corner,
somehow
looks like.
I don't know if they'll have
goal
time.
kick.
Goal
Yeah,
kick.
that'll do it for this first half. Just want to give a quick shout out to our student volunteers. Braden Schenk, Ben Wychulis, Ted Brennan, and Carson Depp. Those four doing a terrific job. I'm sorry if you wanted to tune in and hear Damian Andrews, Velvety Pipes tonight. You're stuck with Eric Hannigan, Lewis Clark, and Jay Alter. We'll be back. Second half action, a good second half coming up as we're tied at 1 on the DAF Media Network.
If you live in Darien, most likely you've benefited from the Darien Foundation. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4 million in grants to the Darien Emergency Services, public schools, and community organizations.
My husband and I are so happy to be raising our 4 young children in Darien. Over the years, I have admired the projects that the Darien Foundation has supported, and I'm excited to be a member of the board helping to further support the Foundation's mission. Kids' eyes light up when they talk about learning and eating in the edible garden at Tokenique School. And as a family, we've had so much fun watching varsity field hockey and lacrosse games under the Darien High School stadium lights. It certainly gives us peace of mind to know that if and when the next storm hits town, the Darien Library will always have power thanks to the Darien Foundation providing a generator.
As a resource, the Darien Foundation is unique within Fairfield County and indeed unique on a national level. For 20 years, the Darien Foundation has been investing in Darien and offering our community organizations, emergency services, and schools a local resource to help them pursue innovation and excellence. Thank you for supporting the Darien Foundation. We are building a better Darien together.
Hey, we welcome you back. DAF Media Network, second half action coming your way alongside two Blue Wave Soccer alums, Eric Cannigan and Lewis Clark, not the explorer, but the left midfielder. I'm Jay Alter, ready to take you into the second half. Darien in white, McMahon in red and navy. Fellas, before we get the second half kicked off, or I guess as we get the second half kicked off, impressions of the first half and what's going to be the difference in the second half?
I think it's going to be whoever wants it more this half. I mean, it was so back and forth in that first half. Darien taking the lead, Brien McMahon mustering up some strength to notch one back, and it's going to be interesting to see who takes the initiative in the second half. So it'll be whoever really wants it more.
Yeah, and not to say that, and the goal scorer right there, Ocampo, just again trucking in the midfield. So they've been playing really well, and again they kind of flip-flopped in terms of how they were playing and who had more possession. But it looks like we have a early corner here in the second half. So, or
It's a throw
rather deep in the half.
Well, considering how far he can throw the ball, it may as well be a corner.
That's a good point, Lewis.
To that near post, headed on goal, but cleared by Darien.
Oh.
Still work to do. Ocampo. Man, the senior midfielder, the captain, Christopher Ocampo, everywhere for Brien McMahon right now.
Yeah, the unmistakable number 11 there in the midfield. He's just been everywhere, playing really forcefully in that midfield. And again, he's kind of playing in a box-to-box role. He's not sitting too deep. And again, he was the one who scored that goal. So great performance from him in the first 40.
Shoved off the ball and a foul called. Right, Lewis, similar to McMahon, Darien just kind of treats these throw-ins near the corner as a corner with everybody getting into the box. Will Henry Harmon even charging into the top of the box now.
Yeah, we were fortunate our senior year to have a big long gun thrower in Elliot Hilgins, and you know it can really be a massive advantage.
Yeah, it's a big difference maker having that in your tool set. So. Again, it looks like they've worked on these in practice and know where the players need to be. And
there it is.
Oh.
Almost on net. Took an unlucky deflection.
It'll go out for a throw-in, but that's really not reflective of how close that ball was. Again, he just flicks that with a slightly different part of his boot, and that goes in the net. McElhose with a good header there.
Do you get the feeling it'll take another set piece, Eric? For Darien, at least.
No, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it won't. I think McMahon are going to find themselves pressing a lot, and I think Darien could exploit that open space. I know the first half didn't really lend itself to making you think that, but for some reason I think McMahon are going to be pushing here at home.
Now this is the Blue Wave's 7th goal of the season, and they, including the goal tonight, only have 5 goals to show for it. Looking for another here. It's fallen beautifully. McElhose, what a save! Billy Begos, how did he get that? This should have been a goal from McElhose.
And you'll see here, he winds up, he lines it up.
Have a hit.
And just sticks his boot through that. Big deflection and a great save from Begos.
Incredible adjustment.
It was going top corner.
Cheddar. That really should have been a goal. Wow. Swung in. Good. Another great save by Begos.
Begos with the George Foreman left hook there.
And another corner.
Lewis, a big fan of the deflected goals, would have loved one there for his Blue Wave. Another corner.
They got to keep him coming. Keep the pressure.
See if they can test Begos again. His arm's going to be sore in the morning from all these punches.
Back post, it's open.
Oh,
it was an open header on the back post for Darien. Couldn't get it to the back of the net, and now McMahon, it's a counterattack. Here come the Senators. Reversing field beautifully and played forward, looking for Alex Vargas.
Too long.
The right idea, but again, I think they were just rushing that too much. And obviously that is the point of the counterattack, but you got to be crisper in your passes if you do want to exploit.
Yeah, some frustrated teammates out there, but you gotta remember they gotta stick together with this one if they're gonna come through.
You know, Vargas, the striker for Brien McMahon, he comes into the game with 4 goals. We've really not heard his name even called tonight. Darien's done a nice job locking down on number 15 in red and blue.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes to Darien's defense when we heard about this explosive McMahon offense, and they could only score from a set piece.
Talk about explosive
Jack
offense.
Hawley with the firm shot.
It's still bouncing around the McMahon box. Begos running for it and claims it.
Begos with a chest day exercise of himself, just taking that one to the core. That thing bounced right off of him, but he saves that one. A great shot from Jack Hawley, and great movement from him to make that space, that half a yard, so he could get that shot off.
Everything but the finish there from Hawley. Wide open game. The first 6 minutes of this second half have been tremendous.
This game has lived up to everything we thought it would be. Both sides really going for it here.
McMahon with some possession in the midfield here, and they're pushing forward with no second thoughts.
Here's Vargas, the leading scorer for McMahon with 4 goals, giving it away.
Looked like McElhose is asking for the deflection.
He's a good player, McElhose.
He is. He is playing the role of mop-up crew, and I say that with no disrespect. It's a really important position, and he has been doing it very effectively tonight.
That's a role I would say you played in your playing days, although can't get the clearance there. What a miss. Ocampo on a silver platter, put it wide.
Oh, and we're going to see this here.
We'll see the angle here, yeah.
This is Emil Heskey-esque.
Oh, my Ocampo. That was, he pulled that one, and Darien have to be grateful because you should not be missing that shot. I don't know what to say. Unlucky.
I mean, that is, if you're Darien, that is a new lease on life.
That is a gift.
You should be down 2-1 in this game.
Yeah, they're going to be wondering what happened there, but
McElhose and Sears, a great combination in the midfield.
Well, hopefully it's a moment like that that kind of lights a fire under them and they can really rebound off of it.
Agreed. You count that as a fortunate happening for your team, and just really have to defend now because McMahon are trying to build on that.
Meanwhile, it was Christopher Ocampo who missed it, and he's been excellent all night. He's definitely been the man of the match for either side.
Yeah, it goes to show. I don't know that he was really expecting that ball as we see McMahon push forward again, slip one through. Interesting decision there.
And it goes out for the corner. Both teams have scored off a corner tonight.
Could we see another one here?
Stay tuned to find out.
That's a big market tease, Lewis. Whipped in. Headed clear. I think that's a handball on McMahon, and it is.
I think we've seen a good job from the referees tonight. They've made the right calls while also kind of staying out of the game. They're not involved per se, but they've been observant and haven't really made a mistake yet. So
yeah, they've been letting the game flow, and in a game like this where it's so back and forth, intense, it's always great to see a match being played out like this.
I don't see much movement on Darien's sideline there, so it looks like John's content with the team right now. We see him pointing towards the net. Maybe he's instructing the team to score. I can't tell from here.
Interesting tactic.
Well, he's abandoned the chair. 8 years ago, John Bradley, when he took the job and you guys played for him in his first campaign, he had an iconic chair that he sat in. Yeah.
The lawn throne.
It was a throne.
Now he's standing.
Oh.
Dangerous ball, looking for the final flick over the bar. The Blue Wave should have pulled in front there.
In a moment like that, you don't need to be putting your foot through the ball. You just got to make sure you're getting it on target.
In a game of inches and touches, that one just a little too much on it.
A little.
Oh, I mean, he blasted the thing. Take another look.
And we'll have a replay here.
Kaboom.
And you
Again,
guys know from playing, that's very difficult.
No, it's a tale of inches on your foot. I mean, really, if you hit it, if you misstrike it, it could go anywhere. So,
Das Boot.
Both teams now, with having had big opportunities in the second half, it's just, you know, you got to wonder who's going to be the one to really grasp this game.
they're very similar teams. I think someone's mentioned that before, but
How my. I mean, it's wide open. Oh, Campo. He's been the dangerous one.
oh, what a 1-2. Oh, and he just finds himself to be tripped up there.
And Darien gives it a boot.
Like they've done all night.
Now you might see another long throw here. Harmon will be prepared. And there he is,
Right on cue, Lewis.
Romo.
Tony Romo of DAF Media Network. He's Lewis Clark, also alongside Eric Hannigan. I'm Jay Alter 3. Blue Wave alums back on the call. Can't believe it was 8 years ago that the two guys beside me were playing for this Darien soccer team. Now old and washed up and talking about a hopeful Blue Wave win, but they're in trouble here. Vargas. Oh, what a beautiful goal!
That's a magnificent strike.
Alex Vargas, the senior forward, perfectly placed.
And you'll see here, he has one thought on his mind and just takes a whack at it with his left foot, curling away.
The only place he could have put it.
There's nothing Leon could have done there.
Wow. And that's the 5th goal of the season for the senior striker, Alex Vargas.
Impressive. It was a really impressive finish.
Darien only has 5 goals between its entire team all season, and that's what the senior Vargas has for McMahon.
Well, and that 5-second clip there is perfect example of what kind of quality player you have. Again, he had one thought on his mind. He took a strike and knew exactly where he was going to put it, and it tucks it away in the bottom corner. You really can't do much about it as a goalkeeper. Again, it's just top quality finishing.
And after going down 1-0 in the first half, McMahon has really, shown strong patience to be able to get back in this game, get that tying goal, and then push on to get the go-ahead here.
Yeah, what was once a 1-0 Darien lead is now a 2-1 Darien deficit. Trouble at the top of the box. Do you have to adjust the tactics here, Eric, now that you're trailing a goal?
If you want something out of this game, you have no other choice. I mean, I find it interesting. You have a back line of 6 there. The entire team minus the striker is sitting back behind the ball. You're not going to get much out of the game if you line up like that.
Now, Lewis, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Coach Bradley have the phrase, I think it was him, doesn't matter if we lose by 1 or lose by 10. You know, if we're down by 1, we want to go for it. We don't want to just sit back and play for a 1-goal loss.
Yeah, he was always pretty aggressive in that mentality, and that we would be really going for it and trying to get at least a point out of this game right now.
We've said it multiple times tonight. Eric did the research, which is a surprise.
Oh,
here,
ball.
Almost a 3rd goal. Not a great touch. These two teams historically right next to each other. This is a big swing game in both team seasons, and now McMahon holding on to a 2-1 victory as it stands.
That was a brilliant ball over the top. Again, he played that angle perfectly, just floats it in over the Darien backline. McMahon striker, his touch let him down, but we have a long throw here. And Ocampo under some pressure, and he handles it quite well and draws the foul. It's great play from him.
Mateo Cano looking for that top corner, just a little too much on it. Final 25 minutes here in Norwalk. And Darien looking for that equalizer. Trying to think if you guys had any second half comebacks in your historic season 8 years ago.
Second half comeback.
Any ring to mind?
Trumbull.
Mm.
Well,
How could you forget? How could I
the
forget?
last-minute equalizer. But to be fair, you know, I think John's teams thrive when they're ahead at some point of the game. I think it's been one of his struggles is to get his team to come back from a victory because they do better when they have a lead to defend. So we'll see if this team is any different.
Foul called against the Blue Wave. I think Sears' foot was in a dangerous area, so they blew the play dead.
Good sportsmanship there. He was making sure McMahon player was okay. But all this does is give Brien McMahon a couple more seconds off the clock here. But they don't look like they're resting on their laurels, so it's going to be interesting to see if that changes over the next 25 minutes or so. If you see later in the game, if they start to drop back a bit deeper, or if they find that, you know, playing that high-intensity offensive attack is more of a better form of defense, as Lewis had mentioned.
They're absolutely going for a third. You can see that there's that hunger for it.
Looks like Jack Hawley, I believe, just drew the foul there. Again, Sears is going to line one up. He needs to put this in a dangerous area. If Darien have looked most threatening on set plays, you can't make these balls wasteful.
Six players in the box for the
Good
Blue
ball
Wave.
in.
It's loose.
Oh my God.
Foul
Oh,
on the
I don't
keeper.
know. I don't know about that. Yeah, I think it's easy to make that call when the keeper goes down,
Correct.
but just because he dropped it doesn't mean there was necessarily a foul. But it was loose in the box. That was Darien's best opportunity to tie the game.
Sears put that in a really dangerous area. That was a great ball from him.
Terrific player. The midfield combination of Sears and McElhose is impressed tonight. But I think the most impressive performance tonight has been our 4 student volunteers putting this game on the air for DAF Media as Sears takes a crack.
It's a nice shot, but I agree. The production has been great. The quality's been great, and you know it's been a great game so far. So there's not much more you can ask for under the lights. McMahon pressing forward again. A nice ball over the top.
Darien chasing back, contact in the box, nothing called.
Good on the McMahon player. He got right back up. He could have stayed on the grounds and looked to get a call there, but
Dangerous throw in. Right to the top of the
oh,
box.
Ocampo. Oh,
Just didn't get his
Slow
foot
roller.
fully through that one.
oh I do think he was trying to keep that one low, and you can see he kind of held back a bit of the power, but all that did was make it a little bit easier for
Here's a replay here.
Lehan.
Tried to place it.
Yeah, I don't fault him for that decision, but the end result makes sense. Sloppy giveaway from Darien in the midfield.
They just can't get that rhythm going for the build-up play, I should say.
Correct.
No. And McMahon will be happy to play this way all game.
Dangerous ball in. Here's a chance for the Blue Wave. Sears plays it in.
That was a stunning ball across the box from Sears, and that's an indication John is really shaking things up here. And you'll see on the other end McMahon going for it. But he looks like he's told Charlie Sears to stay up top, so he's trying to use that that technical ability and that calmness on the ball up on the forward line.
Yeah, he's playing high and wide, so he's going to be able to get some balls in from the wing. Here he goes.
Sears again. Still on his foot. Went down in the box.
I think you got to pull the trigger there.
Nothing called. Might have held onto the ball just a little too long. And now here's McMahon. Ocampo plays in a great ball. A heavy touch.
This is end-to-end stuff right now. You saw Charlie Sears doing a bit of a ball roll, I think, for probably 1 or 2 steps too long. And McMahon was able to put a great tackle in. At least from this vantage point, it looks like they got a clean tackle. So Sears will have to be a little disappointed with how that played out.
I think Lewis nailed it. That shot, you need to at least try an attempt there.
Yeah, and he has the ability where you don't need a perfect angle. You don't need to get within 5 yards to put one on target. He knows how to shoot the ball.
He's also an extremely talented player, so if he gets anywhere close, he's got to be putting a foot on it.
Now there is a McMahon player down on the far side of the field. So we have a stoppage in play nearing the halfway mark in this second half. We appreciate you tuning in to the Darien Athletic Foundation, a joint venture with the Darien Foundation.
We have Darien High School in the white unis going left to right, and McMahon in the blue and red unis going right to left. So we see a stoppage in play here for the injury, and in instances like these, the clock does stop. So
we're hearing that it's the goal scorer and senior captain Christopher Ocampo.
now Ocampo's just
above
behind
him.
him.
Is the goal is down? Right, isn't Ocampo down?
No,
Ocampo's standing over.
number 11, he's next to him. It could have been the other goal scorer.
All right, the student production goes from an 100 to a 99 for.
Alex Vargas, it could be.
We won't spec. This is not reckless speculation. Okay, we will wait, but it seems to be a somewhat serious injury as the McMahon player is still down. Now this, in soccer, you don't get timeouts. So this kind of acts as a timeout for both coaches with 20 minutes left in regulation to give some last words to their team before they get sent out and the play is resumed.
Yeah, it gives the kids a chance to breathe too, which is key.
.20 minutes down and 20 to go in this second half alongside Eric Cannigan and Lewis Clark. Jay Alter with you. Brien McMahon trailed at 1.1-0. The Blue Wave have given up back-to-back goals, so now it's the Senators in front. Final 20 minutes, Eric. What can Darien do to tie this game up?
A little bit more of the same. I want to say, you know, they have had some good offensive looks with Sears up top. They just need to start playing some more through balls, either. Ooh, a little dangerous there. Again, some through balls either down the channels for Sears to cross it into the middle or just right up the gut. You know, at the end of the day, you just need to start challenging this McMahon defense, what they have done on 1 or 2 occasions, but not enough tonight.
Here comes Brien McMahon again. Great defense on the back line. Up to McElhost now for Darien.
That's some good play there on the right channel. McMahon with the nice clearance.
Now it's McMahon's turn to absorb the pressure because it looks like the wave are up for it here.
Trying to unlock this back line of Brien McMahon.
Oof, that's a high foot.
Yep. Great call. Lewis nailed it.
I
He
think-
called it from up here. I think the official heard you.
Number 11, Dumas, drawing the foul there. He went up for a strong header, and the McMahon player, again, you can't put your foot up that high. And Sears,
This is
Big
prime
opportunity.
position.
This is he's going to be able to curl it in with his right foot here and try and get somebody's head on it.
Sears puts in a beautiful ball. And it's a goal!
It's in!
Tied at 2. Sears, the magician, has both assists tonight.
you really could not place this ball any better. Again, it's tantalizing. The goalkeeper wants to get it. He comes in with that Foreman hook, and he misses. So
Number 12. And it was Chase Caruso, the sophomore sub, who comes in and ties this game at 2. Game on between Darien and McMahon.
I mean, that's just some set play magic from Darien tonight. You've had one corner kick and a very well-placed free kick off of that high foot. Again, it's amazing how just that second by the McMahon defender sticking his foot up high results in a goal, and now we're 2-2 with just under 20 minutes to play.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 4 goals scored tonight, 3 of them off set pieces.
Correct.
Yep.
It's a simple game, fellas. You got to execute on those set pieces, especially at this level.
Especially when you have a guy like Sears.
Do you think that both teams go for the winner or comfortable with a draw?
Oh, they better go for a winner. I didn't come here to watch a draw.
Now Darien with an opportunity here. Here's Holly over the McElhouse, who just couldn't get his footing underneath it.
Now this is a momentum sport, and I think Darien will really be served well by that goal. And you can already see they're pushing up the field. They're playing a little bit better in the midfield, being able to hold on to that ball. Quick passes. Although McMahon have a dangerous opportunity.
Lehan, the sophomore. So they have a sophomore in net and a sophomore sub who comes in, Caruso, to score that tying goal. So the future very bright for Darien. But they're not worried about the future. They want the present to be a victory.
It's a little bit long by Darien, but again, McMahon seem a little rattled. You have to say, Coach Rodrigo Guzman is not going to be happy with this defense. Set plays are something you can practice outside of games. And so to be giving 2 of those up, it's really going to be hard on the coach and the players.
Here's McElhouse over the Sears. Beautiful play from Darien.
Have a hit.
Holly, you listen to Lewis again. Your voice must project right onto the field. First the referee making the call, and there Jack Holly taking a rip.
Well, this game has been an absolute treat. This is what we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the game. We knew it was going to be a back and forth game. We knew there was a lot on the line, and these kids, they want it. They want it tonight.
It ends as a draw, right? They don't play any extra. Now, for everybody missing the velvety pipes of Damian Andrew, you're stuck with Jay Alter, Eric Cannigan, and Lewis Clark, 3 DHS alums, class of 2012, for the final 16 minutes. We are so thankful to have our student volunteers.
Great dummy. Oh.
Great save. It's still alive. McMahon. Vargas. It's a goal. Alex Vargas notches his 2nd goal of the game, and Brien McMahon up 3-2.
This is really just a series of unfortunate events. He does well to slot it home, and he is onside. You see Darien's defender on the line, but it comes off the goalkeeper. You see a deflection here off Darien's defender, and they're just left helpless. I mean, good luck stopping that. He has the whole net in front of him.
Lemony Snicket. It's 3-2 Brien McMahon.
What a game we have on our hands here.
Now, the officials are discussing, and they do award the goal to Brien McMahon, but there was some conversation after that strike.
I don't know if Darien's looking for a foul or perhaps offsides. At least from an offside standpoint, it looked to be okay.
He was clear.
We're not the ones in the yellow unis, so we're not making the decisions.
That's backbreaking for Darien. The last 5 minutes, they've really grown into this game. They got the equalizer, and Lewis, now they're back on the back foot.
Yeah, 15 minutes left. What do you got? You know?
Yeah, I think they might have to start grabbing McMahon's leg and lifting it up for another free kick because it looks like it's going to have to come from a set play.
Oof. Hello, Charlie Sears. How are you? Just a little wide. Well, fellas, we were texting earlier today, and we said, we really hope it's not a 0-0 draw. You come all the way out after so many years removed from the game, and we've been treated to a goal fest tonight.
No, this is certainly better than what I've been watching of United lately. So it does speak to the quality of these guys.
Yeah, and it's about 5 times more goals than we scored in our game. So, again, McMahon taking no chances. They're really just booting that ball up the field. Although, you have to say, this McMahon attack is lethal. They're just so talented.
So many different players.
Campo's trotting up.
Yeah. You know, Vargas has the 2 goals, but really there's 4 or 5 players from
And now
McMahon
Darien
that
can
can make
break.
you pay. Sears plays a ball forward.
It's a good ball. It looked like Jack Hawley did great to curve his run there. He was onside.
Dilly Begos was quick off his line.
Good awareness from the keep to be off his line so fast.
And it looked like it was John June at the back line with a great defensive play.
He's been solid all night.
He looked quick.
Flaherty trying to get a foot to it. Can't deny Messiah Castillero. Here's Castillero looking for Ocampo. Booted out by Darien. Under 14 minutes to go in this second half. Blue Wave chasing that equalizer. Pounding it up into the Norwalk night sky. Took a deflection off McMahon.
Again, it looks like Sears is really trying to hold down the fort up there on his own until that ball is played forward. But now you see, looks like McElhoe's playing a little further forward. I'm not sure if that's just for the throw-in. Sears throws his arm up, asking for
Here's
a foul.
an opportunity. Into the box. But
Collected.
That's some good communication on McMahon's from McMahon's goalkeeper and defense there. A lot of times in those situations, you have 3 players running for the ball. It can end with the calamity, but he did well to scoop that one up.
they call him Billy Big Gloves Begos. And he has certainly proved that tonight in net for Brien McMahon, trying to preserve this 3-2 advantage.
And what's exciting is that it looks like a lot of the players on the JV team have migrated over here. It's getting louder. It's getting louder as we approach the end.
There just seem to be not enough players forward for the Blue Wave, for a team chasing a goal, Lewis. You know, they need to explore a little more up the pitch.
Yeah, they got to throw more men forward. They got to have at least 2 or 3 guys more up there.
McMahon have a little breathing time here, and they really don't look like they're in a hurry, and they have no reason to be.
And remember, in the high school game, no time is added on, like in
Correct.
college
No
or
stoppage time. If there's
Premier
something
League.
like an injury, they will stop the clock, but you're right. And Mateo plays it short there.
Ocampo goes down in the box.
Henry Harmon headed it clear again. Darien just needs to get it on the other side of the pitch right now.
But again, if you look, it's Sears on his own.
Yeah. I mean, a team trailing with 10 men behind the ball is not a way to even the score, but
No, and again, Sears can hold the ball up, but it really depends how quickly those other players can get up the field.
here's Sears now. ran into a double team, lost possession.
McElhose putting in a challenge.
Oh dear. Brien McMahon looking for another goal. Still on his feet. And now no foul, actually. A lot of contact, though. This game has become very physical in the closing stages.
It sure has, and it's only going to get more physical as we approach the end. Darien's just got to make sure that they keep their cool and they don't get frustrated.
Sears draws the foul there, and he has some time to.
And look at everybody on Darien going up for this one.
He gave
This is what you
almost
like to
the
see.
tomahawk gesture.
Everybody but the goalie in front of Charlie Sears for this kick.
They know how important this result is.
Hey, does he have the distance to really get it?
I think
50
he's
yards?
I think he's got the leg.
Oh,
He
definitely.
sure does. And
Shows
some.
off. Begos
Oh my.
lunges for it. And it's cleared by McMahon. Sears stays back, looking to reset.
McElhose showing good strength there on the
He kept
byline.
it in. They should
And
be
I
out
think
for a corner.
corner
That'll
kick.
be a corner.
Yeah,
Key
that's the right
opportunity
call.
here.
Well, Darien has scored both their goals off corner kicks tonight, an opportunity to tie this game at 3, and it's Charlie Sears headed to the corner flag.
You just need to hope that he plays in another challenging ball for the McMahon goalkeeper. And again, he just wants to curl this outside the goalkeeper's position.
A tantalizing delivery.
Oh,
It's loose! McElhose!
oh,
It's in! McElhose ties it at 3! Darien alive!
Absolute pandemonium in the box, but somehow the Wave were able to find the net. Incredible scenes here at Brien McMahon High School.
Billy Big Gloves Bagos is going to have to be disappointed with that one. I mean, it's just an absolute scramble in the box.
Look at this great instant replay.
I mean,
Tommy McElhose.
credit to McElhose. He did not give up on that ball and just thumps it into the goalkeeper and thus into the net.
And just like that, it's 3-3, all tied again.
Braden Schenk on instant replay. Darien student who's helping us tonight with DAF Media, absolutely crushing it on that look. All right, boys. 3-3,
Buckle
9
in.
minutes to go. Darien looked dead in this game just a few minutes ago. McMahon looked more likely to get a 2-goal advantage at a tie game, but now game on.
It's incredible. I mean, there have been portions of this game where both teams have looked made for dead, and they've somehow revived themselves and gone back in this game. It's going to be so interesting to see who can come out on top here.
We could not have been treated to a better high school soccer game.
Great skill there.
This result means so much to both sides. They're very close in the FCIAC standings. It's a rivalry with these two towns bordering each other, Norwalk and Darien. The Blue Wave looking for a shock road result. They need one more goal to do it. McElhose, who just scored the equalizer, settling the play. Here's Holly, beautiful back kick, but McElhose could not get there.
Oh, McMahon
This
getting
is
to that
trouble.
second ball. Oh, no.
Vargas looking for
Strong
his hat
tackle
trick.
from Harmon.
Tremendous sliding effort. Great call, Lewis. Harmon was there. What would John Bradley be shouting out to you guys right now in a 3-3 game?
I mean, it's difficult because you do know at the end of the day that a tied result doesn't necessarily leave either team out of it, but you know that all these guys out there are so competitive. They're going to be wanting to go for the win, and John will never be satisfied with just a draw. So they're all going to be going for it.
Alongside two guys who played 8 years ago for John Bradley, had a historic run in both the FCIAC and state playoffs, kind of launched this new era of Darien soccer under Coach Bradley, and it's been a thrill to watch this great game, but we'd love to see it end in a Darien win. Looking for that goal, Begos quick off his line to scoop it up.
McMahon have some time to breathe, and you really do not know what's going to happen in this last 7 minutes. It's just been such an unpredictable game.
Great tackle again.
And Darien did win that one. Good call from the referee.
Darien was really the first team to change this from a pace game to more of a physical game, and it's definitely favored the Blue Wave.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't tell that Darien has practiced their set plays, tonight's game is evidence of that, because three goals off of 3 set pieces is nothing to scoff at.
Good skill from McMahon. And now the Darien has a big opportunity here. Strong touch. Sears controls.
He's the guy you wanted with the ball at his foot. Lost the handle there, though. And now Brien McMahon can charge with a counterattack. Trying to release the striker, Balderrama. Back to Sears. Great ball into
Delicious
Holly.
ball, but offsides, unfortunately.
That's the right call, too. Under 6 minutes to go, Lewis. If you're Darien, this is a road result. Are you satisfied with the draw?
I don't think you're ever satisfied of a draw. I think all these guys out there are going to be gunning for all the points, and it's going to be a long 6 minutes.
Strap in, everybody who is tuned in to the DAF Media Network. We have 4 incredible student volunteers, 3 alums in the booth tonight. Damian Andrew, off the mic, he can just put his feet up for the final 5 minutes like the rest of you and watch the finale of what has been a terrific high school soccer match.
And this really does not feel like a 4th or 5th game of the season for either of these teams. You could easily slot this fixture at the ends and it would pass just fine. There's so much competition, a huge sense of urgency to get this win. It's been a fantastic game to watch.
Dangerous, top of the box. Great save by the sophomore goalie, Will Lehan. For all you young goalies watching at home, that's how it's done. A comfortable, confident save, slow things down, get your team set up. It looked like John Bradley was trying to make a sub there. They blew the horn.
And it looks...
And now we will get our change. Or not. They're going to actually keep playing. John keeps barking at the officials that he'd like to get some fresh legs on.
They called a foul on Grimm there. It looks like he really stood firm and welcomed the challenge from McMahon, but end of the day, McMahon do have a free kick.
Mateo Cano. Beautiful ball into the
in.
box.
Oh, it almost went all the way in.
Oh, my. Nervy moments for the Darien back line, but their sophomore goalie there to bail them out.
Now, that is exactly where you want to play that ball. He played it so it was curling in just to the far post. If someone gets a touch, the goalie's left without a chance. But if the goalie happens to challenge for the touch from the offender, then he misses it, slide into the far post. So it was a really good ball for Mateo there.
Almost at 3 now.
John Bradley and Rodrigo Guzman, the 2 managers, head coaches of these teams. How much of a gambler are you in the final 3 minutes? That is the question.
I could not even think of how this game could end. Obviously, the logical prediction is a draw, but
No, with the way this game's been going, you can't script it.
That's
Good
a dangerous. Yep.
Tried to wrap his foot around that one.
Just a little too much.
Too far under that ball there. But again, it's showing a lot of intent, which both sides have shown. McMahon maybe slightly more, but Darien have capitalized on those opportunities. And it looks like Pedro Coelho has come on the field. He was motioning to his team to get up further on the pitch. You can tell both sides want to win here. They put in so much effort. It would almost be disappointing to end up with just a point.
Final 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Darien need more men forward than that. And they've got the time to get up there.
McElhose, who had the equalizer, beautifully flicked on. Charging up that left side. Here's Jack Holly. He's got men forward, trying to pick the right
Puts
pass.
a delicious ball in.
Top of the box. Just miskicked it. That was
Pedro
the opportunity. Pedro Coelho will rue that opportunity. Pounded forward. Harmon boots it away. 90 seconds left in this game, and a McMahon corner.
IP.
The crowd is rowdy. They're banging the bleachers. This is what you like to see on a Tuesday night.
And it looks like Mateo is going to be whipping this ball in. He had a great set piece not too long ago.
Headed clear, top of the box. That's way too much.
He went for it.
And it looks like it'll be Darien with the last opportunity in this game.
You got to get that ball quick.
With the pace Darien's moving up the pitch, I think they might just be taking a point here, but
Okay, they're trying to figure out which ball to use.
.30 seconds to go. One last opportunity for either team. It looks like Darien.
This looks pretty.
Looks like John Bradley's told his team we're okay with the draw.
Interesting tactics.
and I must say that's a little disappointing to see after such a great game. You kind of almost wanted Darien to pump one more up the pitch.
10 on the clock.
Harmon with a great header. Looked like a bit of a handball, and it will be.
And that'll do it for us, it looks like.
No, the clock stops because of that handball, so 6.3 seconds for McMahon. The final seconds coming to a close here. Ball put in. It's loose in front.
Oh, my.
What a
And he holds
save.
on to
Will
it.
Lehan holds on, and that does it. A 6-goal thriller, ends 3 goals apiece. Darien and Brien McMahon. It'll go down as a tie.
Could you have come any closer to a last-second goal, which you almost never see in the sport?
No, that was incredibly close, and Darien will be breathing a deep sigh of relief after that one, and particularly the goalie who's been phenomenal all night. Oh, sorry.
Well, that does it from Norwalk. Brien McMahon 3, Darien 3. We could not have picked a better game to bring to you on the DAF Media Network. Eric Hannigan, Lewis Clark, Jay Alter here to wrap it up. 3 washed-up alums from the class of 2012. And, fellas, we were treated to a phenomenal game. Could not ask for more. 6 goals apiece, and each team, I think, comes away with a well-deserved point.
Yeah, we were talking a bit earlier before the game, and we were hoping for a shootout. Needless, we had no idea it would end 3-3. We didn't know how these goals would come, and it really was a back-and-forth affair. So it was a great effort and a great spectacle for a neutral or either fan of the team.
Yeah, I think it will be disappointing for each team to, they were so close to each coming away with a win here. But at the end of the day, I think they will be content with walking away with a tie here. I think it's a fair result on the day.
I think we're going to bring you a recap. All 6 goals. It started with Darien.
Charlie Sears whipping in a great ball there.
Although that was not a goal. Hold on.
Here we go.
This is the opener. It was still Charlie Sears whipping in the great ball.
Yeah, again.
Theme of the evening.
Curls that one in. Great right in the middle of the net, and Will Henry Harmon gets on the end of that one. You see a great finish here from McMahon.
Their second goal here.
That made it 2-1. McMahon is tied it up at 2. Great finish from the sophomore Chase Caruso. Has made it 3-2 McMahon. What a crazy sequence that was for the Senators. They thought they had the game won, but then Darien the equalizer.
And they won up their crazy sequence with one of their own, and McElhoe's just trying to put it on Cage, and it goes off of McMahon's goalkeeper and slides in. And I believe this is the
final
final
play of the game.
seconds, pretty much.
I mean, McMahon easily could have won this game. One
It's
touch.
a sea of red.
Sea of red. If they had any more connection on that ball, that would have gone in and given McMahon the win. But we draw here 3-3 in a very entertaining match.
Yeah, what a treat this was.
Want to thank our director, Ted Brennan, who was absolutely terrific and flawless. Braden Shank on instant replay. Camera 1, Ben Y. Chulis, and Carson Depp on camera 2. 4 terrific Darien students working for the DAF Media Network. They brought you the game tonight. It was fun for the 3 of us to come back and watch our alma mater playing a really terrific game. Want to thank Damian Andrew for bringing us in. And, of course, the great folks at Brien McMahon for setting up a great booth and really providing what could go down as the game of the season for these two. It's tough in high school soccer to get better than a 6-goal thriller.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
all right.
It's been a great affair and a great evening, and really glad to see how many people could turn out for this one. So I had a great time tonight, and it was great calling a game alongside a former player and former alum.
Yeah, thank you all for having us.
All right. We will say goodbye. Eric, I think you're back on a game soon, right?
Yeah, I should be back on one of the Saturday matches. So.
Cool.
Yep.
Look forward to that one. Final score from Brien McMahon, Blue Wave 3, Senators 3. This has been a production of the DAF Media Network.